So today I'm going down to the boat and I'm going to remove, what is it, the rear, it'll be about a quarter of the deck space at the back, which covers the diesel tank. And so it's time to get dirty with diesel because I don't know what's there. I don't know. I think it's nearly empty, and that makes me think that the tank will probably be full of what we call black death over here, where you get that slime grows because the tank's been left empty. Condensation forms inside the tank. That provides an environment for algae. And next thing you know, all of the walls of your stainless tank are covered in a black slime. And the problem with that is that it sits there until such time as you go out to sea and you get into some rough weather. Everything starts sloshing around in the tank, and that comes away from the walls, ends up in your fuel, clogs your fuel line, and you lose your engine right at the most inappropriate time. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to go down, rip that deck off, see what I'm in for. I don't even know if there's two tanks, if there's one tank, how many baffles are in the tank, whether there's an inspection port. Hopefully there is, because if there is, that should enable me to see the condition of the tank and start working out how much fuel I've got to get out so that then I can clean the tanks. Fingers crossed. So this is it. This back panel here, I think there's about 40 bolts, and they've got to come out. So I've got an impact cordless driver that'll hopefully make light work of that, as long as I don't bust any of the bolt heads off. So I'll make a start on that. First bolt snapped. Might have to be a bit more gentle. I've lost count of how many times I've wanted a big bar and a big lump of wood when I've been on a boat. So now I just keep one on a boat all the time, and it's amazing how often it gets used. Look what I've just seen. Look at that. That means I can undo that, get right into the tank and clean it right out. That is going to be fantastic. Now I'm going to work out how to get this thing up and out of the way. This looks good. This looks bloody great. I want to put a filler cap in from the top rather than having it like this set up, which is just a nightmare. Maybe I can put an elbow on there. It'll be tight though. Anyway, this is looking good. Okay, I can't really do much with that sender, but I'm going old school. Let's see. That sounds good. I reckon it might be empty. I think I'll undo the big bolts now. So I've just drained 20 litres out from down there, and I will check that out when I get home. I'll just put it in a bit of a glass jar and have a look. But you can actually see quite nicely in here now. I can see the pickup tube is down in that bottom section. The fuel's sloshing around beautifully, and there's not really any dramas with the condition of the tank. So before I fuel her up, I'll try and drain the last of this out, just so that I've got fresh diesel when I put it in. But yeah, very excited about it. Looks good, don't you reckon? So the plan is take this to there's a marine engineer who works out of here, so I'm just going to get him to cut a big hole here, get rid of the sender, cut a hole about the same diameter as the sender, put a piece of threaded stainless on it, weld it on, and then put a cap on it, and then that will sit around about here, like that, and then the cover will be, the fiberglass cover will be over the top, and I'll just put an inspection port in here. So simple then. You just come along, undo the cap, undo the actual fuel cap, bang, done. Might even see if you can weld just a little bit of a box around, just to catch, a little bit of spillage if you had a moment when you were filling it. So now the question is, what do I do with all of this? I'm going to get rid of it. One, because I'll probably be getting rid of this box anyway, so it's got to go. Two, it's a bloody dog's breakfast. So I might be able to actually use this part over at the tank end and clamp it on and just leave that locked off, perhaps, and then just get rid of all of this. As for this breather pipe, it's a pretty cool little setup. So I'll see if I can somehow disconnect it, and yeah, maybe I'll use it, maybe I won't. We'll see. I think it's time to start pulling stuff apart, but righto, so here's the breather. I managed to get two of my T-bolt large clamps on. I've got a copper press fitting running through and copper pipe running through to about here, and then this flexible fuel hose. And the fuel hose just allows me a bit of flexibility for vibrations and everything. So it comes through there, goes up, keeps a bit of height. More T-clamps onto the pipe. A bracket just with a bit of that bilge pipe around it, just to protect the copper. And it goes along in another bit of flexible hose just to get it out. And then we're over to here. So it comes out through here. I'll probably put a bit of Sikaflex or something around here just to make it watertight, and epoxy a little block under here, but it is rock solid because I've got a clamp on the other side of that. So if I ever see diesel coming out of here, I'll be concerned. But other than that, it's just a good little breather. And all I need now is back there, once the boys have done the fuel filler, we'll put that in, and then just got to drill a hole through the top, and we'll be done. So this is the gasket off the diesel tank, off the cover, and it's a cork type gasket, and I've just gone down to Clark Rubber and got a rubber gasket that's good for fuels and diesels. And luckily it's 200 wide, so I just have to trim it. I'm going to trim the inside out of it as well. No point in having bits of rubber or bits of cork falling into your fuel. So we only need the gasket, so that's what I'll be doing. Get a load of this. How good does this look? Look at that weld. It's bloody... I'm so excited about this. This is why you go to people that know what they're doing. And this guy, he's only a young fella. He works for an older bloke called Paul O'Keefe, I think is the company. But it's just a young fella. I said, how much do I owe you for that, mate? You've cleaned the whole plate up. You've knocked it up bulletproof weld. I said, you're bloody good at your craft. He goes, oh, you know, it was only an hour. He had to cut a hole and then put the weld on. He said, $50. I said, mate, I'll give you 60. Go and have a beer. That is bloody great. People reckon the youth of today have got no ambition and no skill. Look at that. I could not do that if I tried. I'm so stoked. Bloody local Kiama lad. Good on him. So there we have it. Looks good. These are reasonably tight, but I'll just tension them up again tomorrow or the next day once the gasket's had time to get a bit squished. And I'll see if my X is actually marking the spot. I'll put a little pilot hole through, and then I'll just, yeah, I've got a 4-inch plate coming to come across the top of this, so that's not far off. You can fill her up and go for a run. Okay, well, I'm just waiting on a deck plate now, and that diesel project will be done, so it's probably a good time to wrap that video up. Thanks very much for watching Down Under Projects. I hope this has encouraged you if you've got a boat, or if you're looking at a second-hand boat, maybe just to cast your eye over your fuel system and your storage on the boat, and understand that it's not that hard, it's not rocket science, it's just a matter of methodically going through and having a look at each component. Then you'll have a really reliable boat. Next week or two, all I'm doing is tidying up a lot of the stuff, like some of the cable runs and just pretty boring stuff really, so I probably won't do a video. The next video will probably just be when we take the boat on a sea trial. So with that sea trial, I've got a mate, Fitzy. He's got a good sized tinny. He's going to come out and just shadow myself, just in case we have any mechanical issues. I hope to have Jack, my son-in-law, come along, and if I'm driving around for 3 or 4 hours out off the south coast of New South Wales, we may as well try and catch a fish. So he likes fishing, so hopefully we'll catch a fish. And if we're real lucky, I might get another good mate, Den. He might be able to jump on Fitzy's boat. He's got a YouTube channel called Coast Trips, and it's a shout out to you, Den, and your lovely channel there, which is really cool if you just want to have a look at some nice scenery of the south coast of New South Wales, where he quite often will ride his bike around or go for a swim or whatever, and it's pretty mellow, nice scenery, good channel to watch. If he does come along, he'll knock up a video, and I'll just put a link to that, because he's better at doing this than I am. So yeah, just another couple of weeks of boring stuff, and hopefully next time I see you, we'll be heading out on a nice day on the south coast of New South Wales to do a sea trial in the stink boat. Thanks again for watching.